I'm going to tell you the story of what happened with my neighbor. This neighbor just moved in. They play their music, but I can only hear the bass, and it doesn't like super bother me. For example, like if I have my TV on, I can't hear their bass. Like I can't hear it at all. Or if my air conditioning is kind of loud. If my air conditioning is on, can't hear it. So it doesn't bother me. I was like, you know what? Don't be a Karen. Don't be crazy. Don't go over there because it's not that loud. Whatever. I convinced myself of this for 2 months. Then I got this lovely new puppy, and she sleeps downstairs, and she sleeps against that wall that I share with my neighbor. The night before I made that video, my neighbor was playing his music, and he was playing it until like midnight. And because I have a new puppy, she woke up, and I had to wake up with her, and I had to sit with her, and we waited until the music was off. And so I just kind of thought, you know, I wonder if he even knows that this music is loud, that I can hear it. So I told myself, I said, you know, I'm free tomorrow. I'm going to make some bread. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to tell him that he's playing his music. I'm going to tell him I can hear it. And I'm going to tell him that it's bugging my dog. Because I'm afraid of confrontation, I actually looked up how to confront your neighbor about noise. And one of the things they said on this WikiHow was to just let the neighbor know that they're making noise. Like not to go over there and say, oh my gosh, you're making noise and you're keeping me up. But literally to go over there and say, hey, when you play your music at night, I can hear it. So it's not accusatory. It's basically just telling them, hey, FYI, this is happening. What happened when I got there? I made the bread. As you saw, I packaged it up. I put my phone number on it over, and mind you, I'm afraid of confrontation, okay? His front door was wide open, and I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to call into this house to get this person to come out. Well, it turns out he was sitting right there on the couch. So I said, hey, he said, hi, told me his name. I said, hi, I'm your neighbor. I just wanted to meet you. And I told him, I said, just like I read on WikiHow, I said, hey, just so you know, I can hear your music at night. He was like, what, really, you can? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh my gosh, I was playing my music loud last night. To which I was like, yeah, you kind of were. And so I explained to him that basically I can hear it and I can only hear the bass. So I think it's just because he has that sound bar. And then I said, you know, like basically just asked him if he could turn it down earlier in the night because I have a puppy. And like, while it doesn't keep me awake, it doesn't bother my day today, it does keep my puppy awake. And he was so nice and he was so apologetic, and he gave me his number, and just basically said, like, if it's ever bothering you, just text me, I'll turn it down. And I said, yes. Also, please let me know if you need anything. I gave him the bread. Some of you said my bread looks store-bought. Well, my neighbor thought I had bought the bread because I was like, oh, I have this bread I made to give to you. And he goes, you made this? And I'm like, yeah, I made it. And he's like, oh, I did. I thought you bought it. And I'm like, no, I made it. So yeah. So anyway, moral of the story, you catch more flies with honey. Since then, he has turned down his music. I can hear it every once in a while, or I hear the TV, but it sounds like he kind of turned down, he turned down the bass, which like is so nice, right? So anyway, all that to say, like, it might not work in every situation, but in my situation, it was perfect because I have to see this guy around. I'm not going to call the police on somebody who's not really playing their music that loud, just kind of loud. And then, yeah, he was super, super, super nice. And I was proud of myself also for confronting him because I am afraid of confrontation. So yeah, that's all.